Hey, are we live? Think we
What a kick in the
are.
nuts. Do you remember Tom
Oh,
Sandoval at the reunion where he's like,
never mind that. All right. I don't know if we have anyone in yet, but that's all right. We will see you when we see you. So what's up? What's up on here now? Why TikTok? Why Instagram? Okay. Here's what I wanted to do today. I'm back, by the way. If you are a returning viewer, there's not a lot of you, not a lot that would be returning viewers, but that's okay. We're just getting started. Um, so yeah, I'm just coming back to this. I started like doing kind of a schedule, like a scheduled fucking stream every week for a few weeks, not that long. But this was way back in like the spring maybe, and life just life got crazy. You know how it goes. Um, so I it took a few months um trying to get things together. The other thing was I didn't have the fucking setup to do streaming at all. Um I was trying to make it work, but like I'm on Wi-Fi, I'm on a MacBook, I'm on um you know uh uh a MacBook without that much RAM. Like it was the whole fucking thing. Um and so I uh took a while to save up money to get some gear. Nothing too crazy. Um, I went through some shit. My cat died. Um, that was not good. I broke my ankle. Still broken. See if I can show you. There's my cast. Um, so that happened too. But I got a desktop computer, and I got a Marantz turret fucking camera and mic combo tower. Um, and that's working out pretty nice. I got an Ethernet cable, so we're not fucking, fiddling with the goddamn Wi-Fi all the time. And yeah, it's working wonders, I tell you. Um, so yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm excited to do this, and today I wanted to definitely try it out, see how it goes for a little while. I don't know how long I'll be on, but uh, tomorrow I want to start my schedule back up. I was doing Socialist Sundays. Today you can see it's Socialist Saturday. I don't know if there's always going to be a Socialist Saturday, but um, Dave Rubin, no, Socialist Sundays. I wanted to make that a thing. All right, so we can yeah, right, okay. Um, so yeah, here's what I wanted to start with. I'm going to be self-indulgent right off the bat. So talking about myself, and now I'm going to show you my content. All right, can you handle that? This is a song I wrote. I don't know if everyone saw, probably a couple months ago, there was a story about um, a court case that I forget who brought the case, but it was against Chiquita Bananas, um, formerly known as United Fruit Company, I believe. Uh, and they were accused, and it was found that they were civilly liable for paying off death squads, far right fucking paramilitary death squads, to uh, kill their own workers who tried to unionize or otherwise try to get better conditions. Oh, God damn it. I have to fucking fix something, of course. All right, twitch.tv.
Next game is in 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bottom thing.
No, so I was doing a podcast for a while with my uncle and one of his friends, and he said that apparently, like, the stream just went live on the fucking podcast channel. Like, the stream just went live on the... But this is mine. This is my channel. How the fuck is there... Let's see. Isn't this exciting? Okay. Reel it in. Why don't I see that Reel It In is live? Reel It In cast. Okay. Maybe it's the... Oh, it's probably the Facebook one. God damn it. God damn it. All right. I hope you'll come along on this journey with me. All two of you. I appreciate you. I'm just going to come in here and... Oh, it's me and my sister. Okay. So, fuck. Ah, man. All right. What the goddamn hell? Yeah, okay. So it's probably going live on the stupid podcast page. Stupid podcast page. There it is. There it is. Okay. Stupid podcast. Page. Oh no. There it is. There it is. Okay. All right. Gotta log into the podcast and I gotta turn off the thing. Stupid podcast page. Delete video? Would that do it? Okay. So I gotta fix that. I gotta make sure that's logged into my page and not the podcast page. So hope you're not watching on Facebook. I don't know who watches live Facebooks, but anyway, yeah, Reel It In is a podcast I did for a little while. We might start it up again at some point. But if you want to go look at that, we talk about philosophy and psychology and life and death and everything in between. My uncle's a psychologist, and his friend who did the show with us is I think he is working on a PhD, maybe just finished PhD in psychology. I was like the dirtbag. I don't know. the comedian. I was kind of still a comedian when we started it. But yeah, the politics guy, basically. I was the Marxist. So that's the thing. But today, I want to start with this. Again, I'm going to be self-indulgent. You just watched me fucking go into my Facebook and turn off my stupid stream. So now we're going to watch my new lyric video. So yeah, the Chiquita had a lawsuit brought against them, alleging that they paid off death squads to do kill their workers who tried to unionize or otherwise negotiate for better pay and conditions. And it was found that I guess they did it. They're liable or whatever the hell So I wrote a pop punk song about being in the Chiquita Death Squad. All right, here we go. Going for like a Green Day, like Simple Plan, maybe even a Cheap Trick.
In the Chiquita Banana Corporate Death Squad. If you try to unionize, we'll send you to your God. We're a fruit company, paramilitary. You might think it's scary, but bananas ain't free. Chiquita Death Squad, we're gonna get ya. Chiquita Death Squad, coming for ya. Just one court case will never stop us all. Just can't beat the pay from the capital cabal. We're the fascist party, paramilitary. Might think it's over, you freaky, but who don't come shit? Chiquita Death Squad, we're gonna get ya. Chiquita Death Squad, coming for ya. Chiquita Death Squad, we're gonna get ya. Chiquita Death Squad, coming for ya.
How do you think we get those bananas from the south to your shelf every time of year? Kill the leftists soon as they get elected. They try to do some bitch ass plan reform like a bunch of queers. You need fiber, so we'll leave no survivors. If that's what it takes to get bananas all the way to Europe and America, Australia, China, the global north of empire, a blood-sucking vampire back.
Chiquita Death Squad, we're gonna get ya. Chiquita Death Squad, coming for ya. Chiquita Death Squad, we're gonna get ya. Chiquita Death Squad, coming for ya.
So that's my song. What do you think? Huh? Yeah, I'm working on an album. I haven't like made an album in a while. I think it was in 2020 I made like an EP, 4 or 5 songs. And then I've put out, just kind of singles, one-offs since then. And yeah, you can find me. Easiest way is Radicalize Me. I think it's just at Radicalize Me on YouTube. And yeah, you can also. I'm also at Joe Messina on YouTube. But I don't post there as much. That's one of those things. Like I'll make that my second channel if if I can beef up my subs a little bit, but you know, it's going. You know, it's steadily rising, slow but steady. Hoping to hit 1,000 before the end of the year, certainly. Which is the first level of monetization, I believe. It can get donations and stuff. But yeah, you know, I have a couple of lyric videos on here, I think, and then you know, mostly on Radicalize Me, I do kind of you know, video essays, that kind of thing. Largely, I talk about kind of intersection of pop culture and socialism, like you know, here I'm talking about this shit that Hank Green was saying about housing. You know, here I've got a thing about the anti-work movement. What's a good example? Oh yeah. So recently I did this reality show, The Valley. It's a spin-off of Vanderpump Rules, if you know that show. And there was an interesting kind of spat between the characters, the fucking people on the screen about racism. It was very funny because it's, you know, it's almost entirely white people. But yeah, you know, so I've got like colonialism in space. This is about Deep Space Nine and a certain Middle East conflict that I don't know if I'm allowed to mention now, on YouTube at least, and maybe TikTok. Twitch seems like okay about that shit, but Mao Rips Debate Bros, that was fun. It was about a piece called "The Post Book Worship" by Mao. I try not to go too like theory heavy, but you know, Mao's a good writer. Yeah, Reggie Watts and Joe Rogan talk nonsense about socialism. I started doing interviews again because Radicalize Me started actually as a podcast where I just interviewed activists and stuff. How the hell do I? Okay. But I started doing some on the channel too. Like, here I've got one with Jasmine Sherman, who is an independent socialist candidate for president in the U.S. this year. I have one here with Bill Stodden from Socialist Party USA. He's also running this year for president. Yeah. And I did this one with a couple of guys from the Workers' Party of Massachusetts who were they may not be running anymore. There's been a little bit of a tumult in a little bit of a rift forming in a socialist organization. Can you imagine? But I don't know. I liked that conversation. I like those guys. So whatever it is, you know, it's still a good interview. But anyway, yeah, that's my YouTube. Just wanted, so let's look at Twitter, because I'm never calling it the other name. Elon Musk is a piece of shit. He dead names his daughter and says she's his dead son. It's fucked up. But let's see. This is, oh yeah. Yeah, let's watch this. So this is oh, what the fuck is the band? This oh yeah, Gojira. It's this metal band that did this opening show for the Olympics.
La creación del doctor Joseph Finas Guillotín y por su apellido Guillotina.
Guillotina. That's awesome. Oh yeah, I love that. Fucking, what's this? Is my mic freaking out? Let's go a little more PC. little politically correct. PC over mic. La la la. Yeah, I don't want to blow out anyone's ears. But yeah, no, that was fucking awesome. Okay, all right. Yeah, I've heard very little Gojira before, but I did I did have several kids request to learn Gojira songs when I was a guitar teacher. Did that for several years. So yeah, it was always funny. I would always get at least a couple of metal kids, and I'd be like, I don't know, man. I guess let's jump in and figure it out. Because I'm good. I'm like pretty fucking good, but I'm just not a metal guy. I never went all the way down the, Metallica and Megadeth and Slipknot or fucking, I don't know, Gojira path. Just never did. But yeah, so I ended up having to just like crash course myself with a bunch of Metallica songs, Gojira here and there. Yeah, it's funny, like you do get, the longer you like play music and teach music, you get a sort of sense of the patterns and everything, and you get so much quicker at picking stuff up. So yeah, I was able to teach some of that stuff, and I after a while I was able to play some Metallica and shit. It was cool. But anyway, what do we want to do? Oh yeah, that's the thing. Having played in several bands, that some of whom did like live, nothing to this extent, but just live like effects and displays and stuff. I'm watching this and just like the fucking logistics, dude. Like, oh, like can the guitarist hear the drummer from the other side of that turret? Does he have an earpiece? Does it work? God damn. Those were the days, man. Yeah. So, yeah, I wanted to look at this. Yeah, so this like war on the homeless that's been brewing for years and is now like reaching a fever pitch. It's really messed up, dude. Like this is bad. And it's so like America is going to be done in by like the simplest shit, and it's really pathetic. Like even climate change, like we could deal with that. We could deal with homelessness. It's not easy, but it's like not that complicated to just fucking house people, if that's what you want to do. But our country, our government, don't want to do that because, instead of housing being treated as fucking housing, as shelter for people, it's treated as a speculative investment vehicle. And it's one thing when you do that, and it's managed as like 30-year mortgages for families or individual, whoever. But like it's one thing if you do it that way, but the way it's turned into just like a corporate investment vehicle is so messed up. And if you don't think that it's connected, I don't know what to fucking tell you, man. But there was this story, armed activists blocked Dallas workers from okay, take a step back. This headline, and Jesus, armed activists blocked Dallas workers from cleaning a homeless camp. Blocked Dallas workers from cleaning a homeless camp. That's unacceptable. This is not how we do things in this country. But the thing, okay, so first of all, let's work backwards. This is how we do things in this country. It's just that the guns are never pointed the other way, right? The threat of violence is never pointed the other way. There's one group that's not allowed to be violent, and it's the proletariat. It's the general public. Because again, like the way this corporate housing shit that pushes people out onto the street and makes housing unaffordable for like critical masses of fucking people, that's violence. And then the way police, which is probably the workers they're fucking talking about here, the way police deal with them is violence. The way the government neglects them is violence. And the police are the, agents of the state. So the only problem is when it's turned back around and unhoused people say, hey, we need to be housed. Or, allies are armed. Oh my God, they're armed. Like, everyone's armed. There's more guns than people in this country. But if you're making a statement about open carry by slinging your fucking AR-15 over your back in a Starbucks, then it's fine. But if you're trying to protect the most vulnerable people, you're a fucking terrorist, man. But I'm surprised they did call them activists and not terrorists or something. But they did say this was a couple of years ago. And this is the Dallas-Fort Worth SRA, the Socialist Rifle Association. I should follow them. But yeah, block Dallas workers from cleaning a homeless camp. So again, this is me promoting my own content, but I said, no, the poor workers are trying to clean a homeless camp. What is this? Stop. Like they're municipal employees who showed up with Windex and rags and not a militarized police force sent to brutalize the homeless and destroy all their shit. Because that's what happens. I don't know if, when they say homeless encampment sweeps, just a little sweep, sweep, sweep. It's like a fucking, Dick Van Dyke is going to sing the Mary Poppins song. But no, they're destroying and trashing all of their stuff. So homeless people are, they're really like in a roundabout way not allowed to be housed because the jobs don't pay enough. Housing has been, landlords have been allowed to gouge housing prices. So they're not allowed to be housed. Then they're not allowed to be anywhere unhoused. They're not allowed to fucking own anything. like a fucking chair. Like this guy's in an office chair. Like that's what I was doing before I got my leg scooter. Because I broke my ankle. If you're just joining, it's this thing here. You can't really see it that well, but before I got that delivered, I was wheeling myself around my apartment on an office chair, and that fucking sucks. Like it'd be nice to have like a real wheelchair, and like I would imagine this guy. Maybe he's just sitting too, but like, if you think about it, like, where's a homeless person going to get a wheelchair if they need one? If they don't already have one, but maybe you can find a desk chair that someone put out on the curb, you know. And that's like a shit solution, but that's what you can do. And then the fucking cops come and beat the shit out of you and probably take the chair. Sorry, I need another cough drop. My mouth is all dry. I've got mouth pain issue. It's really, I'm not doing that great, but yeah, it's really fucked, man. And the solution to all of this is they're just piling on this. They're doing more of the same. As the problem gets worse, they're going to do more of the same, which is not going to fix it. What is solved by police trashing a homeless encampment? Like, if you're walking past this homeless encampment and you're upset that you have to see it, and then when it's swept, now you no longer have to see it, and you think that means the problem is solved, you're an asshole. Like, you know, this is where, like, we can talk about theory and we can talk about politics and all this shit. But sometimes I feel like the best description, the best explanation is you're an asshole. You should, like, there are homeless encampments, man. There are, like, entire fucking just communities of people living in tents because they can't afford to live anywhere else. And people go, oh, they're good. They're doing a sweep. Doing the sweeps. Got to do the sweeps. And now it's fixed because I don't have to see it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But we're very short-sighted in this society. And you know, I'm a dialectical materialist. I'm a historical materialist, and I believe very much that history and historical, you know, progress does not happen in a vacuum. Or yeah, it doesn't happen in a vacuum, but it's not linear, right? It's not just like, oh, naturally there's an ever progressing, you know, bettering of human civilization. Not at all. That's crazy. I mean, if you think that because there was an industrial revolution and now we all have cars and computers, that means that progress is just continually going upwards. First of all, progress is completely uneven and unequal throughout the world. Like, you cannot tell me while I you know, and I come from an upper middle class family, like, I'm fine, but like while I like scrape by paying for a shitty apartment that costs too much, but I'm doing okay. And then you've got, like, you know, I like my sister or my parents they're more on more of like a professional, like, track, and my parents have good retirements and stuff. Like, they're well set up, and then there's, like, you know, way more like mega rich people above them. But then in, like, fucking Arkansas, the UN will come and you know, report that there's parts of Arkansas living in third world conditions. And, like, I would bet it's like especially bad somewhere like Arkansas, but I'd bet that you can find that in every state, every fucking state in the union. the Union. What am I, a fucking Civil War general? But Numb God G. Sorry for bothering you. Okay, great. First comment, it is a scam. Love that. Love that. But yeah, I'm just, I'm a little long-winded. I'm just trying to make the point that, like, progress is not going linearly and steadily and ever upwards for everyone, because we don't socialize the gains of social labor in this world. Right? So, like, the lowest rung workers in America don't see the gains. And the lowest rung workers in the third world, in poor countries, but of course Michael Parenti tells us there are no poor countries. Most countries are very rich. They're rich in materials and resources, but the people are poor because the gains are kept from them. So, all of that to say, I don't believe that history is linear and progress is ever rising. We have a very short-sighted society, and you can try to tell me, like, oh, well, that's just human nature. It's right. It's self-interest, and it's like lack of planning. It's impulsiveness. It's whatever it is. And fine, but not every civilization has been like that, right? We talk about the I don't know how accurate all of this is, but you talk about with certain, like, Native American tribes, there was the concept of the 7 generations that you consider the needs of people 7 generations from now. With every, like, major decision, because that's just their values. That's you leave the earth better than you found it. It benefits you, benefits your people, and then down the line, if you keep up the processes that maintain the earth in a beautiful symbiosis with the human race, that's good for everybody. But our society does not think like that. But since there have been societies that think like that, and there are some now that probably are better. I would think that, like, I don't know, but there probably are. It's just that, we've moved in a very kind of excessive direction. Like, this is a society of excess, global capitalism, that is. And what happens when you have this system of global capitalism is, it just feeds on life. It feeds on extraction and repression and just sucking the value out of everything to concentrate it in a small number of hands who are never satisfied, right? That's literally like you're supposed to increase growth and profit every year. Well, how do you do that? Eventually you run out of shit. The rate of profit has a tendency to fall. So yeah, just we're very bad with, like, looking ahead with speculation in any intelligent way. Because, again, getting back to this homeless shit, like, we're allowing the problem to continue, which is the ballooning housing prices, and the corporate consolidation and the corporate accumulation of rental properties. And so more and more people are going to be homeless. We're hitting record levels, 650,000, I think, in the U.S. That's a lot of people. And as it gets worse, they're just going to crack down more and more with the police and the military, eventually. They're building these cop cities. They're building more prisons. This seems to be the plan. And I don't want to get too much into it, but like, people are afraid of this kind of shit happening with like Trump and Project 2025. And sure, yeah, I mean, I've read some of those parts that the detention centers are the number of detention centers they want to build is like far exceeds what they actually would even need to contain asylum seekers that they want to concentrate or deport. It goes way beyond even that. So like, okay, well, who's that for? Who are they putting in there? But yeah, no, absolutely. And it's, it's a fascist blueprint. But don't fucking tell me that it's not already happening. These cop cities are happening under, a Democratic president. In many cases, it's Democratic governors, mayors, city councils, state legislatures. Sorry. Like, they're still doing it. Like, what did we see with the Palestine encampments? The big area of focus was Columbia University in New York. And like NYU as well, but like it was the nucleus of the movement was Columbia. And what happened? They brutalized these kids. They sat back as adult Zionists, Zionist, like, brown shirt terrorists came and fucking beat the shit out of these kids. So I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't fucking care. We gotta vote for Kamala Harris to stop fascism. Really? Like, what's her, like, does she have a plan to stop this shit? Does she want it to stop? Do we have any indication that she'll be better about any of this? Like, I don't know what people think. That I get it. I do get the, like, voting out of fear and kind of, defensive voting and you think you're doing harm reduction or like the lesser of two evils. I'm sorry, it goes the same direction either way. So we got to do more. But let's see. What else do we want to look at here? Yeah, okay, so these dumbasses. It's Ben Dreyfuss. I don't really know who this guy is, but he's a commentator or whatever. And he's a big Zionist, apparently. But so this tweet, Peter Raleigh, people have a tendency to treat Ben Dreyfuss as though he's a sort of boilerplate lib with some stupid takes. But this is actually what an evil person believes. If you believe this, you are evil. Okay. And so let's look at what Ben Dreyfuss is saying here and pay close attention to it. I'll read it in the slowish way I do. But think about it as we go. Life is unfair. Your great-grandparents lost their land. Wah wah. Fuck off. I couldn't care less. Stick to the dead kids talking point, or else I'm going to call more bombings. I don't know what that means. Are you in the IDF? America, the greatest country on earth, okay, maybe he's not in the IDF, is a land of immigrants who stole the land from Indians. We're sorry for their trouble, but we don't care. Like, what? It is our land now. We enjoy the land, and the world is better because we stole it. This land argument means nothing here. All right? So, there's a lot of things happening here. Okay, so the first tweet, I think, is pretty clearly about Palestine. All right? Gaza. Gaza. Yeah, it's me. So, yeah, life is unfair. Your great-grandparents lost their land. And but let's be clear about that. It's easy to say, oh, your great-grandparents. When you see, like, children in Gaza, when you see, like, teenagers in Gaza, maybe it's their great-grandparents we're talking about. But no, if you see someone like my age, we're talking grandparents. If it's someone in their 60s, like my parents, it's their parents, you know? And in some cases, not many, because people don't live long in Gaza. I wonder why. Yeah, even before the act of genocide. But even in some cases, the people themselves who had their land stolen are saying, hey, my land was stolen. Right? So, like, we could go back like 150, 200 years ago. At that time, yeah, yeah, and not that I don't want to advocate for Native American people and for First Nations people today. I'd love to know like what more we can do on that front too. But if we were back in that time, imagine Twitter. Imagine having Twitter 200 years ago. But yeah, as we were like stealing the West and shit, like that would absolutely be a time to be like, hey guys, we haven't even been here that long. It's literally just, it's the land they have lived on for centuries, for generations. What right is it of ours to take it from them? Even if we, come and live here. Like, I don't know. I don't know if maybe there was a way, maybe there could be a way to do that. But like, you're going to take it from them? And notably, we had a very high-minded idea about why it was good and right for us to take it. And, clearly Ben believes it too. But at that time, we called it manifest destiny. It was literally just like, it's going to sound familiar. God ordained it that, we could take this land, that the white man, the Europeans, could take this land. And, if you think that Lebensraum wasn't influenced by manifest destiny, and you think that Zionism wasn't influenced by Lebensraum and Manifest Destiny, I think you're missing the point. You're not being historically materialist. But yeah, so we're not just talking about people's great grandparents, great grandparent, whatever the fuck. All right. You know, I still have a grandparent. I have one grandparent still living. So like, if she was, someone in, if she was a Palestinian, she would have lived right through the, she would have been a young teenager when the Nakba happened. I mean, she was just, luckily not there. She was in fucking New York. But not everyone's that lucky. But yeah, this is just like, the idea that this is ancient history is such fucking bullshit. But they want you to believe it's ancient history, not only so they can write it off the way he's doing, but also so that they can justify, well, this is our ancestral homeland. What? Who the fuck are you? Like, what are you talking about? All right. So he couldn't care less. Stick to the dead kids talking point, or else I'm going to call more bombings. I don't know what that means, really. Like, so he just wants us to argue based on how many kids are dying in Gaza right now, but not about land. But hey, Ben, why are they dying? Why are bombings being called? Does it have anything to do with the land? It's like, okay, you want to talk about the land doesn't matter? Okay, well, when Palestine was under the Ottoman Empire, it was Palestine, and it was under the Ottoman Empire. All right? I don't know exactly how the Ottoman Empire treated its people, but I don't think you had the kind of apartheid and checkpoints, and you can't go here and you have to go there, but you're going to be harassed by soldiers, and you're going to be arrested for this and that, and we're going to take your house, and then we're going to bomb the fuck out of you if you ever retaliate. I don't think you had that under the Ottoman Empire. Okay? Then later, it was the British Mandate. Right? British Mandatory Palestine. Oh, hi, Emily Arts08. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. I'm doing all right. And it's good to have you. Yeah, we're just talking about this asshole. The way these people I mean assholes. I don't mean, and I mean Zionists, and I mean conservatives. I mean right wingers. The way they feel so comfortable saying this shit, a lot of it's Twitter. The way that Elon Musk has made it safe to be an asshole on Twitter, but it's everywhere too. Like they say it on TV. They write it in op-eds. They shout it on the street. But they know that it's always going to be the pro-Palestine side that takes the brunt of police retaliation, of condemnations from politicians, et cetera, et cetera. They just feel safe to do this. Fucking Netanyahu just gave like a fucking fascist diatribe to our Congress, to multiple standing ovations. It's so fucked, man. This is a phrase I heard recently, and I will never forget it. It comes up in my head every day. The Nazis lost World War II, but fascism won. I actually want to get to something about that in a sec. Let's just finish talking about Ben Dreyfus. So we were talking about it from the Palestine side. That's the first tweet. Now this reply, there's so much in here. It's so like dense. It's nutrient rich. But the nutrients are poison. I don't know. America, the greatest country on earth, is a land of immigrants who stole the land from Indians. So that's an incredible thing he just did. Because at first glance, you're like, oh, I mean, the greatest country on earth. Sure, I mean, that's his opinion, whatever. But no, he's saying this as if it's like an indisputable fact. It's like, I'm sorry, did you forget that it's the greatest country on earth? And it started from immigrants stealing the land from Indians. So you shouldn't be complaining that we did that. You shouldn't be concerned about those people. Because it's the greatest country on earth now. And this goes back to earlier. We were talking about how history and progress are not linear. Because who fucking says? Who says it's better now? Like, I think the air's a lot more polluted. I think a lot, the forests are managed way more poorly. I think that there's been a lot more extinctions of animal species, overfishing and overhunting. The shit that we've done to the earth with oil drilling and gas fracking and all this shit. But no, it's the greatest country on earth. We're sorry for their trouble, but we don't care. So this is something that, like, even if we we read these tweets and we hate this guy and we're like, he's so gross and awful, and he is, we can actually take something from this, because he's saying we're sorry for their trouble, but we don't care. And that I see as a statement that's like, this same thing happened to the people who lived here, but I'm not hearing you complain about it. And we're all human. We might feel like, oh, it's so awful, but ultimately we don't care, because what are we doing about it? And the answer is, first of all, it was a lot longer ago, and it is much harder to like undo a very much complete settler colonial project. It's going to look different here when you look at how like land back works in a few places that have done it in America and Canada, the U.S. and Canada, I should say. It's different. It's more like, stewardship over the land, and it's not necessarily like moving people like, okay, now you can go live on this land again. We have to take these people out. And it's like, no. And it's not like that. And a lot of First Nations and Native American people will actually build kind of, social housing and affordable housing that, maybe they kind of prioritize like homeless First Nations teens or something, but anyone can live there. So this is not about like kicking people out and whatever. And not that Israel would have to be like that either. But yeah, we're talking in Israel and Palestine, we're talking about families that were kicked out in living memory for some. Like, we're talking about people who are still there, and people who are actively having their homes stolen now in like the West Bank. This is like on fucking turbo drive now. So, yeah, we don't have to kick everyone out complete. Like, I think that, Israel is an established nation, but it would just have to be remade into a place where, you have ideally one democratic state, a secular state, where everyone's welcome. Because that's the problem, is that, well, let me first just say, like, yeah, illegal settlers in the West Bank should have to move. But if you want to build them houses nearby and let them, like, yeah, sure. I don't fucking care. Like, that's why this, like, river to the sea, Palestine will be free shit sets people off, is because they're like, oh, are you saying that the Jews have to leave? Where are they going to go? We're not welcome. Like, what? I'm like, wait, no. What? Why do you think you have to leave? You live there. I don't give a shit. Just, like, stop hurting the people who were living there before. This, like, it's stupid. There's got to be a way we can just arrange this. So yeah, in terms of like kicking people out, again, it's just the illegal settlers. And again, if you want to build like some housing developments that these folks can live in, great. I'm so happy for you. But like when we're talking about people who it's not their great grandparents, it's me. I'm the guy. I was in my house and you fucking grabbed my arm and took me out of my house and gave it to someone. You got to undo that. You have to undo that. That's fucking bullshit. And then the other thing is, you have to stop with this thing where you have the state of Palestine, which is the West Bank and Gaza, in this limbo of like not really being a state and not really being part of Israel. Like, you got to pick one. Either they are their own state, they have their own military and their own governing bodies that are not subject to the whims of Israel, which is what a lot of them want. It's like, it's what I think most Palestinians have wanted for most of this time. Just, give us a fair fucking piece of this land that is our own state. And stop, occupying it, because that's what it is. It's an occupation. You don't consider Gaza and the West Bank to be part of the state of Israel, but you want those lands. You're going to say that, like, oh, well, we have to have control over it because they're all terrorists. So, like, suck my balls. You don't really, that's bullshit. They want it both ways. They want to be able to say, like, we're not in Gaza. Why would October 7 happen? We left Gaza. What's wrong with you? Look, they're terrorists. And it's like, no, man, you control everything that comes in and out. You fucking, like, you periodically go and fucking, like, disable a bunch of people. Like, you just fucking intimidate and harass people. And then you go and steal fucking people's houses in the West Bank. Because you've allowed them to be in this limbo for so long. So you pretend that, like, That's their shit. That's the PA's shit. That's Hamas's shit. But no, because it is land under the auspices, under the purview of Israel. So you have to either give them a state, make it their own proper state, and I guarantee you're going to see way less terrorism then, because that's what they want. And you have to do that, or just make them part of Israel, make them full citizens. You got to do one or the other. And if you don't, you're an asshole. Full circle. That's called a callback. All right. So, take a look at TikTok, because I think I'm live on TikTok. How do I see that? I'm too old to do this shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's fucking hard. I'm also just kind of taking a talking break. Sorry about that, but yeah, I don't. Man, I'm telling you, it is hard being 35, trying to figure out all this shit. I'm not exactly like a like fresh-faced 22-year-old streamer. Who's just like native to all this current tech. So, you know, I know how to use most of it, but I'm still trying to figure out if things are happening. Like, I'm trying to figure out if how to do this, but yeah, some of it's really confusing. What is this? So, right, okay, so yeah, I have TikTok connected to Streamlabs. And before I went live, it gives you all the accounts that are connected, and it says, which ones do you want to go live on. I selected TikTok as well, but I'm looking at my TikTok account on my phone, and it doesn't seem like I'm live on TikTok. I don't get it. Let me see. Stream. It's the stream. Oh yeah, Instagram Live could not figure that out. Can't change these settings when you're live. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out. So, yeah, to cap this off, just this land argument means nothing. It's just a convenient way to be like, I'm sorry, because I haven't like reversed the colonization of North America. I'm not allowed to comment on fucking, like, it's so fucking stupid, man. Like, oh, well, everyone does it. Why can't Jews do it? It's like, it's not about Judaism, first of all. It's Zionism, which is a political movement. It's not simply, it means they want a home for the Jews. Like, no. political movement, and what they're doing is barbaric. At what point do we get to call out barbarism? And not have this argument come back? They're like, well, it doesn't mean that fucking means nothing here because what about the Native Americans? Huh? We did it to them. Huh? We did it in South Africa. In Scandinavia, there's that indigenous group that's all white people too, weirdly, but Scandinavians still mistreat them. It's very weird. Just yeah, white on white violence, man. White on white crime. But yeah, if you just come back with that every time, it's like, okay, well, then fuck it. We'll just never improve anything, I guess. First of all, like, the Israel thing is big because our tax dollars are directly funding it. And I don't want to do that. So, fuck you. But also, it's like, yeah, man, we've done this a lot for a long time. Could we stop? Could we maybe move towards not doing that? Maybe that would be cool. Like, we're just nothing's ever supposed to get better because we're not perfect, like, hypocrisy free people. Like, it's fucking insane, dude. Let me see if I can find the other thing I was thinking of. Oh yeah, Elon Musk kidnapped his own kids from Grimes. That's great. Yeah, I kind of forgot what I was looking at now, but yeah, I mean, this is what I said to the Ben Dreyfus tweet. Love how it's always they just lost a war. That's how it goes. History, human nature, etc. Sad but true. Anyway, we're the master race, and the world's better off in our hands. Right? Because that's what this whole thing is like. That's it. Life is unfair. This is just how it goes. One side won and one side lost. It's just what happens. Now Israel and America exist the way they are. Nothing you can do. That's just kind of how it goes. I'm so sorry. Boop boop boop. Bop bop bop. And then we enjoy the land and the world is better because we stole it. Like, oh, interesting. Like, which is it? The world is just an amoral vampire? The world is a vampire. Aw shucks, it is what it is? Or it's actually an objectively good outcome that you won and took the land. They're squirrely, they're dishonest. Say what you fucking mean, man. Do you just not give a shit about the suffering? Then say that. Or are you a fucking Nazi? Because if you are, then say that. Is it nothing or is it good? You believe one of those. And then this beautiful comment from Sarah Mango. I don't know. Who's K-Hive. Aspiring librarian. Interesting. Whatever. But yeah, you know, she's a Zionist. You can tell from her tweets. And then she says this to me. Who are these guys? And it's like, okay, I said these guys here. There's a whole lot of context around it. And I'm clearly talking about, you know, guys who talk like Ben fucking Dreyfus here. But you know, she thinks that she's catching me in something by being like, "Oh, by these guys, do you mean the Jews?" Like, no. When I say these guys are such squirrely, dishonest little fuckers, I mean the guys in front of me, like Ben Dreyfus, who are being dishonest, squirrely little fuckers. And I told her, anyone who defends any violent ethnostate. I left out the word fascism. I left out the word genocide. I left it, because people have their own ideas about those words, and I feel sometimes I try to like craft the sentence in the most unassailable way, and not that you can avoid being assailed most of the time, but like, yeah, anyone who defends any violent ethnostate, and that's what Israel is. It's kind of what the U.S. is too. It's a little different. It's a little different. How that it's too much to get into, but that's what I'm talking about. But this is what Zionism does, because it is a genocidal, violent, ethno supremacist movement and ideology. It is quite literally indefensible. So they always jump right to, oh, so you're an anti-Semite. By these guys, you mean Jews, right? You think Jews are squirrely and dishonest. You think they're conniving and blah, blah, blah. Insert the cartoon with the nose. Like, that's all you have. That's all you fucking have. But that's not like, it's just like, I feel stupid because these are such dumb, like, simple points that have been made a million times. But like, I'm not talking about Jews. I'm not equating Jews with a violent ethno supremacist movement, a fascist genocidal ideology. You are. If I say fuck these fucking fascists and you say, oh, what, do you hate Jews? That's on you. That's your fucking problem, man. You got to examine your fucking head. Why are you reacting like that to these guys? That's insane. I would never fucking talk about Jews like that. There's no reason to. I'm fucking pissed now. I was trying to wrap it up. I'm just like, ready to keep going. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll come back on later, or like, definitely tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. Because yeah, I mentioned earlier on, if anyone's still with me here, I called this Socialist Saturday today, but for a little while I was doing Socialist Sundays. I usually do like a couple hours in the afternoon, maybe 3 hours, like 2 to 5, something like that. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to start at 2 tomorrow. And we're going to talk about socialism. We're just going to do it. We're going to do the damn thing, man. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for now. Thank you, Emily Arts, for saying hi. I don't know if you're still here, but regardless, anyone who spent some time with me today, I appreciate it. Go check out at Radicalize Me on YouTube for all my other content. And I'll fucking see you tomorrow.